Chosen one, the heavens have been whispering your name long before you ever knew you were being watched by eternity. You are not here by coincidence, not here by the rhythm of human chance. This is a divine interception. Heaven has paused time to speak to you. And what you are hearing now is not a mere message. It is a spiritual summons. Something dangerous, powerful, and holy is preparing to enter the world, and it has chosen you as its vessel. Listen carefully. You may have felt it already, the trembling in your spirit, the sudden awareness that something unseen is drawing near. Your sleep has been restless, your thoughts unsettled, your heart heavy with anticipation. You have not been losing your mind, you have been sensing the shift. The realm of light is aligning with your destiny. The enemy senses it too. That is why the warfare around you has increased. Every delay, every heartbreak, every sudden fear has been the darkness trying to weaken the vessel before the transfer of glory. Heaven's eyes have searched the earth for willing hearts, and they stopped on yours. You were marked in silence. You were chosen not because you were perfect, but because you were prepared through pain. Every night you cried was an anointing in disguise. Every door that slammed in your face was heaven's way of sealing you off for sacred use. And now, as December 14 approaches, the veil between the natural and the supernatural begins to thin. You will feel this in your spirit, a divine tension that makes your soul tremble. Do not run from this moment. Do not explain it away as coincidence. This is not coincidence. This is divine intervention. The atmosphere around you is shifting because the presence of God is hovering near. There is something He must place within you, something dangerous to the kingdom of darkness, something powerful enough to awaken the sleeping around you. You have been feeling isolated lately, haven't you? The conversations that once filled you now seem empty. The people who once surrounded you suddenly feel distant. That's not rejection, it's separation. Heaven separates before it fills. A clean vessel cannot be filled with both the old and the new. What's coming requires total surrender. You may not fully understand what's happening, but your spirit does. It's beginning to remember who you are. You are not ordinary. You carry within you a design from heaven that frightens the powers of darkness. You have always felt like you don't belong because your spirit was never made to blend in with the ordinary flow of the world. You were designed to interrupt it. Listen, chosen one. When the power comes, it will not feel safe at first. It will shake everything that can be shaken. Your emotions may tremble. Your relationships may strain. And your mind may question, but your spirit will know. Something ancient and divine will take root within you. Heaven's flame will rest upon your shoulders, and you will begin to feel it burn through every fear, every insecurity, every trace of limitation. As was spoken in the sacred texts of old, 2 Timothy, chapter 1, verse 7, "For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and sound mind." That scripture is not just to comfort you, it's to awaken you. You are not stepping into fear, you are stepping into fire. You are about to be filled with power, saturated in love, and guided by divine clarity. The world needs what's about to flow through you. The time of silent preparation is over. So before you move, pause for a moment. Feel this truth. Heaven chose you. You are the carrier of something the world cannot manufacture and the enemy cannot destroy. What enters you will not harm you, it will harness you. You will become a weapon in the hands of God, a voice in the wilderness, a light in a collapsing age. Now, if your spirit bears witness with what you feel right now, show heaven that you hear it. Type 777 inches, the comments as a prophetic act. It is a sign that you are ready, that you accept the call, that you refuse to let fear silence what God is stirring inside you. And before you leave, make sure you like, share, and subscribe, because this isn't just a message. It's a movement. The coming days will reveal mysteries that no algorithm can explain, and you will not want to miss a single word heaven releases. You are chosen. You are marked. And what is coming on December 14 will awaken the fire inside you forever. You feel it, don't you? Chosen one, the quiet tremor beneath the surface of your days. The veil between realms grows thinner with every breath you take, and what once seemed ordinary now shimmers with unspoken meaning. The air itself feels charged, as though creation holds its breath before the approaching surge of power. December 14 is not just a date on a calendar, it is a doorway in time. Something sacred, something fierce, presses against the edge of your world, waiting for permission to enter. You've begun to notice the signs, the flickering lights, the moments when the atmosphere feels heavier, almost alive, the sudden waves of emotion that come without warning, tears for no reason, bursts of joy that make no sense, and a restlessness that you cannot explain. Heaven is drawing near. The invisible dimensions that have always surrounded you are now reaching into your physical reality. The veil is thinning because the divine wants to meet the human. The eternal wants to touch the temporary through you. This is not imagination. This is activation. The presence you sense is not meant to scare you, it's meant to prepare you. When heaven's power approaches, the natural world trembles. Even your body feels it, shivers in your spine, heat in your palms, the strange stillness that overtakes your thoughts. You are being tuned to a higher frequency. Every beat of your heart echoes with spiritual resonance. Every breath aligns you closer to the rhythm of the divine. But understand this, the thinning of the veil also awakens what hides behind it. Light exposes darkness. What has been dormant begins to stir. Old wounds, buried fears, and unspoken doubts rise to the surface, not to shame you, but to be healed before the fullness of what's coming arrives. The spirit cannot dwell where resentment rules. So, if you feel things breaking loose inside of you, if tears come without reason, let them fall. Heaven is cleansing the corridors of your soul to make room for its glory. Many will not understand what you are feeling in these days. They will dismiss your words, call you emotional, or accuse you of overthinking. But you must hold steady, because you are perceiving what they cannot yet see. You are a forerunner, a living sign that heaven is near. You are the bridge between dimensions. You are the proof that God is still speaking. As the realms draw close, you will begin to hear the still, small voice more clearly. It will speak through silence, through songs, through fragments of scripture that suddenly burn within your heart. It will not come as thunder, but as tenderness. It will whisper, "Be ready." The power approaching you is holy, and holiness always begins with awareness. Pay attention to what stirs your spirit in these hours. Every subtle sign carries weight. Every moment of quiet contains a message. Remember this truth. Chosen one, revelation, is not random. Heaven never wastes a sign. The flicker, the dream, The chill in the room, these are not accidents. They are invitations to intimacy. Each one says, "Come closer." Each one draws you into the secret chambers of the divine, where understanding is not taught but transmitted. And as you draw near, the veil grows even thinner until the boundary between you and heaven begins to fade. But here lies a warning. When the veil thins, both light and darkness press closer. The Spirit of God will strengthen you, but the enemy will also attempt to deceive you. Discernment becomes your shield. Do not chase every voice you hear. Test them by the peace they carry. The Spirit of the Lord never brings confusion or fear. You will know the difference because truth will feel like calm within chaos. In these coming days, guard your atmosphere. Keep your heart soft, your words few, your focus high. The noise of the world will try to drown out what heaven is saying, but silence is now your sanctuary. Learn to dwell in stillness. The veil is thinnest where peace reigns. And remember what was spoken long ago. Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 3. For the vision awaits its appointed time, though it tarry. Wait for it, it will come. This verse carries the rhythm of what you are living. The appointed time is approaching swiftly. The vision, long delayed, is about to speak. What has been whispered in the dark will soon resound like thunder in the daylight. You are the chosen vessel through which the divine promise will move from prophecy to manifestation. So steady your heart. Breathe deeply. Let peace anchor you as the veil grows thin. You are walking the border between heaven and earth, chosen to stand in both worlds at once. What others call strange, heaven calls sacred. You were never meant to be comfortable here, only ready. The signs have intensified. Chosen one, you have felt them like waves of electricity rippling through your atmosphere. The veil is almost transparent now, and heaven's eyes are fixed on you. What is approaching is not random, it carries the mark of divine precision. The power that draws near has identified its vessel. It has seen your endurance, your obedience, your hidden tears, and your willingness to stand when others fled. And now, the mark of the chosen begins to glow within you. There is a weight resting upon your spirit. Isn't there not the heaviness of despair, but the gravity of destiny? You are beginning to understand that what once broke you was shaping you. Every heartbreak, every betrayal, every lonely night, all of it was the refining fire, preparing your heart to hold what heaven is about to release. The mark does not appear on those who lived easily. It appears on those who survived storms and still chose love. You may not see it with your eyes, but your spirit bears a seal. The unseen world recognizes it. Angels stand guard because of it. Darkness trembles at the sight of it. You have become a walking declaration that God's hand is not done shaping history. Your life is not merely a testimony, it's a territory heaven has claimed. Yet, with every mark comes a mandate. The mark identifies, but it also requires, you have been chosen. But being chosen is not comfortable. It separates you from the noise. It isolates you from the crowd. It demands a level of purity, focus, and faith that few can sustain. You cannot go where everyone else goes. You cannot speak what everyone else speaks. You are marked for something far greater than survival. You are marked for transformation. Feel this truth. The mark is your permission to step into power, but also your reminder to remain surrendered. You are not being exalted, you are being entrusted. Heaven gives this kind of calling only to those it can break without losing them. That's why you've walked through so much pain. It wasn't punishment. It was preparation. In the unseen realm, the mark shines like fire. It announces to every spirit, holy or unholy, that your destiny is protected. That is why the attacks against you have felt personal. They were never after your comfort, they were after your crown. The enemy saw your mark before you did. It recognized the light forming around you and tried to snuff it out early. But what God seals, no hand of darkness can unmark. You may have thought you were overlooked, but the truth is, you were hidden. Heaven hides its treasures until the appointed hour, and that hour is nearing. When the divine energy comes, it will not search, it will go straight to the marked. It will find the seal, the prepared heart, the surrendered vessel. It will find you. As Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 14, "You are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hidden." Those words are not metaphor, they are identity. You are not meant to blend in with the darkness around you. You are meant to stand above it. Not in arrogance, but in radiance. When heaven looks down, it sees you like a burning city upon a hilltop. Impossible to ignore. The mark of the chosen shines brighter under pressure. Every trial becomes fuel. Every disappointment becomes oil for your lamp. But the mark also makes you visible to darkness. Do not be surprised when resistance rises. It is proof of your assignment, not evidence of your failure. The opposition comes because you carry something sacred. Every demon that tries to unsettle you only confirms what you already know. There is divine power inside you that threatens the kingdom of shadows. Now, listen closely. You are not being prepared for comfort, but for command. The anointing that rests upon you will not make your life easy. It will make your life effective. It will sharpen your discernment, strengthen your words, and align your steps. The mark is not decoration, it is direction. You will know where to go, whom to trust, and when to speak, because heaven itself will move through you. When doubt tries to whisper, remember who marked you. When fear tells you that you're not ready, remember that the mark didn't come by your effort, it came by grace. You didn't earn this, you were appointed for this. The seal upon you declares that you belong to the Almighty, and no voice of condemnation can rewrite what heaven has already decreed. Now, chosen one, it is time to respond. If these words echo in your chest, if your spirit trembles with recognition, declare it. Type "I am" marked below. Do not hesitate, this is not superstition. It is declaration. When you write it, you agree with heaven's branding over your life. You affirm that you will not run from your calling, that you accept the weight of being chosen. Let those words rise from your heart to your fingertips. I am marked. You are speaking what heaven already sees. The moment you declare it, angels record it. The unseen world takes notice, and the seal upon your life burns brighter than before. The nights have grown heavier, haven't they? Chosen one dreams no longer come as harmless fragments. They arrive like messages wrapped in light and thunder. You wake with the feeling that something has spoken to you, yet the words dissolve the moment your eyes open. That is not imagination. That is heaven speaking in symbols, preparing your spirit for what is about to unfold. The veil between waking and sleeping has grown paper thin, and the realm of revelation is whispering louder than ever before. You are walking in the hour of echoes in the night. It is the time when heaven plants instructions and warnings into the soil of your subconscious. Angels visit in silence, and spiritual frequencies pass through your dreams like currents of light. Sometimes they come as faces you recognize, other times as storms or flames or open doors, but every image carries meaning. You are being trained to discern, to interpret divine language beyond words. Do not be afraid of the strange sensations that accompany these nights. The racing heart, the sudden awakenings at specific hours, these are signs that heaven is calling you to prayer in the unseen war. You are not losing rest, you are gaining awareness. There are moments when the Spirit interrupts your sleep, not to disturb you, but to invite you. You wake because heaven needs a voice on earth to agree with what it is releasing in the skies. You, chosen one, are that voice. Still, with revelation comes resistance. The enemy knows that dreams are doors. When heaven speaks, darkness tries to twist it. That is why nightmares have become more vivid. They are not always random. They are attacks meant to plant fear where faith should grow. But even in those moments, you are not helpless. Speak light over your nights before you sleep. Command your atmosphere to align with peace. Remind the unseen that you belong to the one who neither slumbers nor sleeps. It may feel strange, but the battlefield of the coming season will not always be physical. It will often be mental, emotional, and spiritual. What you conquer in your dreams, you will later conquer in your waking life. When you refuse fear in a dream, you are training your spirit to refuse it in reality. Each vision is a rehearsal for victory. You are being strengthened in realms unseen, so that when December's storm comes, you will not tremble. You will already be equipped. Many chosen ones feel lonely during this stage. You may long to explain what you've seen, but words fail. Those around you might laugh, dismissing your encounters as imagination. Do not be discouraged. Heaven often hides its messages from the proud and reveals them to the humble. You are not meant to convince the world. You are meant to carry the message. The understanding will come later, after the manifestation. For now, trust what your spirit knows, even when your mind cannot explain it. The dreams you've been given are not random images. They are blueprints. Some are warnings, showing what could happen if obedience is delayed. Others are promises, glimpses of what heaven intends to release. Write them down, date them, pray over them. Every dream is a seed, and seeds must be tended before they bear fruit. Heaven uses the language of mystery because it invites intimacy. God could shout, but he prefers to whisper. The whisper requires stillness, and stillness builds trust. So, if you find yourself awake at 3 a.m., do not roll over in frustration. Sit up. Listen. There may be an angel standing near your bed, or a message pressing gently against your thoughts. Speak softly, "I am listening." That single phrase can open the floodgates of revelation. You are being taught how to hear beyond the noise. You are being prepared for direct communication from heaven. Soon, when others are confused by chaos, you will receive instructions in stillness. When others see disaster, you will hear strategy. You will not be surprised by what comes, because heaven will have already shown you the outline in the night, as we are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms. Psalms, chapter 16, verse 7, "I will bless the Lord who has given me counsel. My heart also instructs me in the night seasons. That verse is your reality now. The night is not your enemy, it is your classroom. In the quiet darkness, heaven trains your discernment. Every whisper is a lesson. Every dream, a prophecy. Every sleepless hour, an opportunity for communion. You are being awakened not just to see, but to understand. So embrace the echoes. Listen to their rhythm. Let the silence become sacred again. What you receive in the night will soon guide your steps in the day. The same spirit that hovered over the waters in Genesis now hovers over your rest. Nothing about this is ordinary. You are standing between realms, chosen to carry what most will never hear. When morning comes, remember what was spoken in the night. It will shape everything that follows. The transformation begins quietly, almost imperceptibly. You feel it like a current moving beneath your ribs, a warmth, a trembling, a pulse that does not belong to your own body. This is the preparation of the vessel. Heaven does not pour into what is unready. It first clears, heals, and refines every ache, every strange stillness. Every restless moment of self-questioning is not punishment, it is polishing. You are being shaped into a chalice fit for fire. The old layers of pain begin to peel away like bark from a tree struck by lightning. The things you once held onto, the grudges, the fears, the false identities are being stripped away, not to leave you bare, but to expose the living wood beneath. The spirit cannot fill what pride has sealed shut, so it presses gently, sometimes painfully, against the hidden corners of your heart. When tears come, let them. They are the water that washes the vessel clean. Think of the potter at his wheel. The clay does not understand the spinning, it only feels the force. Yet the pressure is love, not cruelty. Each turn, each reshaping, is a divine correction that ensures you can hold what is coming. For when heaven pours its fire, only vessels properly tempered can withstand the heat. You are being tempered, chosen one. The pressure you feel is proof that heaven has not abandoned you. It's proof that you are almost ready. You may have wondered why silence surrounds you lately. The messages that once came easily seem faint. Friends have drifted. Doors you prayed for remain closed. But this silence is not absence, it's sanctification. Heaven is tuning you to hear what cannot be spoken in noise. Just as the seed must descend into darkness before it bursts into life, you too are being buried in order to bloom. What feels like isolation is actually incubation. When God prepares a vessel, He uses both fire and oil fire to burn away the excess. Oil to preserve the essence. The trials you've endured were the fire. The grace you now feel dripping through your soul is the oil. You are being seasoned for glory, made durable for divine weight. Soon, what enters you will not crush you, it will crown you. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Jeremiah. Jeremiah, chapter 18, verse 6. As the clay is in the potter's hand, so are you in my hand. Those words are the heartbeat of this moment. You are not spinning alone. The unseen hands that hold you are the same hands that formed the stars. Trust them. They do not make mistakes. They press only with purpose. Every flaw they reveal is a place where light will one day shine through. Sometimes heaven allows cracks in the vessel so that humility has a doorway. A flawless pot can look perfect but remain empty. A cracked one leaks light. Do not despise your imperfections, they are the proof that you have been touched by grace. The cracks are where heaven breathes. Now, chosen one, take a breath. Imagine yourself as a cup being filled with gold. The liquid glows, yet it burns. You want to pull away, but the voice inside whispers, "Stay still." Every flash of heat is changing your composition. Soon, you will not be what you were. You will be something heaven can pour through without waste. And when the transformation is complete, you will begin to overflow. But that overflow is not meant for you alone. It's meant to reach others who are still empty, still searching for meaning, still waiting to remember who they are. That is why your calling matters. Your readiness is not selfish, it's service. The messages you hear, the words you receive, the visions that stir your heart, they are seeds, and seeds must be scattered. So, when you share this light, you're not promoting a channel, you're multiplying grace. When you press the small buttons that say like, share, or subscribe, you are not feeding an algorithm, you are feeding the flame. You are saying to heaven, let this message reach the next soul who's ready to wake up. And if you ever feel moved to donate, do it not as a transaction but as worship. Think of it as pouring oil into the lamp so that the flame never dies out. Every act of generosity is a ripple that carries light into unseen places. You are helping the message move, giving wings to the very words that once carried you. This isn't about obligation, it's about partnership. The potter does not work alone, the clay must yield. In the same way, heaven builds movements through willing hearts. Every person who helps keep this stream of light flowing becomes part of the divine equation. Together, we become an unbroken vessel, a collective flame that cannot be extinguished. So, when you press that heart, when you share this message, when you support the work, remember, you are not following a voice, you are answering a call. You are telling heaven, I am available. Use me too. Chosen one. Your preparation is nearly complete. The air around you already hums with new life. Keep yielding. Keep trusting. Keep letting the fire shape you. The gold is forming. And soon the divine current will pour in. And when it does, the world will see through you what surrender truly looks like. Delay has always been one of heaven's most mysterious teachers. You, chosen one, have stood on the edge of promise, waiting, wondering why what was spoken has not yet come to pass. You've prayed, believed, surrendered, and still the silence stretches on. But this waiting is not denial, it is design. Heaven is never late. Every pause is protection. Every delay, a deliberate act of mercy. The test of delay has begun. It is not meant to break your faith, but to reveal it. When the answers don't arrive and the doors don't open, the question becomes, will you still trust? Will you still prepare? Even when the vision tarries, heaven watches closely in this hour. The ones who remain faithful in stillness are the ones trusted with movement. You may not realize it, but heaven is watching how you wait. Some wait with complaint, others with worship. Some let impatience rot their hope, others let patience polish their soul. Which kind of vessel will you be? The difference lies not in what happens, but in how you respond. Sometimes, God delays because the foundation beneath you is still soft. If the promise were to arrive too soon, it might crush what it was meant to bless. So the Spirit slows time, strengthening your heart, teaching you endurance. He does not withhold to punish you, he withholds to prepare you. The waiting season is sacred ground, though it feels barren. In these days, heaven whispers, do not confuse silence with absence. The promise is alive, even when hidden. The seed is still growing beneath the soil, though your eyes cannot see it. What you perceive as stillness is actually multiplication beneath the surface. If you could glimpse the activity of angels during your waiting, you would fall to your knees in awe. This is the hour when many lose heart. They stop believing just before the dawn. They let doubt rewrite the narrative heaven already finished. But you, chosen one, must not let weariness write your ending. Stand firm. The delay is almost over. The Word of God declares in the book of Galatians, chapter 6, verse 9, let us not be weary in well-doing, for in due season we shall reap, if we faint not. Let that truth take root in you. The season of reaping always follows the season of waiting, but the reaping belongs only to those who do not faint. Every time you chose patience instead of panic, heaven took notice. Every time you chose gratitude instead of complaint, your crown grew heavier with glory. Understand, this delay exposes the condition of the heart. Impatience reveals pride, but endurance reveals trust. Heaven will not entrust divine power to a heart that fractures under waiting. That is why this moment matters so deeply. The waiting is your proving ground. When it feels like God has gone silent, He is actually speaking in a different frequency, one that can only be heard through faith. The silence is an invitation to lean closer. It's not rejection, it's refinement. You are learning to love the giver more than the gift, to trust the presence more than the promise. Every chosen one walks through this valley of delay. Even the greatest prophets felt forgotten before the fire fell. But those who kept their hearts open discovered that the silence carried secrets. The quiet teaches you to listen. The stillness sharpens your discernment. You are being trained to hear whispers that others miss. Do not measure your progress by visible signs. The Spirit works in dimensions deeper than your senses can detect. When nothing seems to move, trust that heaven is moving everything at once. What appears dormant is gathering momentum. And when the time finally shifts, and it will, you will see why the waiting was essential. You will look back and realize that the delay saved you from disaster, positioned you for purpose, and prepared you to carry what's coming. Chosen one, your test is almost complete. The very silence that frustrated you is becoming the sound of strength. What was withheld is being refined. Soon, you will not only receive the promise, you will become the promise. If these words resonate in your soul, if you feel heaven's quiet confirmation stirring within you, then mark this moment. Type 444 below. That number carries the vibration of alignment and divine timing. It says, I trust the process. When you write it, you are declaring that delay will not break you. You are choosing faith over frustration, purpose over panic. Let heaven see that you are still waiting, still believing, still standing. The delay is not a denial, it's an unfolding. The promise is nearer than you think. Keep your heart steady, your hands lifted, and your eyes fixed on what's unseen. The clock of heaven is about to strike in your favor. You felt it building. Chosen one, the quiet tension that hides behind every ordinary day. The wind has changed its tone. There's a chill in the air that is not physical, but spiritual. You sense it when you walk into certain rooms, when certain people approach, when silence suddenly feels heavier than sound. That's because the opposition has recognized you. The moment heaven marked you, darkness took notice, and now it begins to stir. This is the stirring of opposition. Every chosen one experiences this storm before ascension. When light intensifies, shadows react. You are no longer hidden. Your obedience has made you visible to both heaven and hell. The same spiritual mark that identifies you to angels also identifies you to adversaries. But do not fear. Your awareness of the enemy is the first sign that you are winning. Darkness does not attack what does not threaten it. You may have noticed strange conflicts lately, arguments that appear from nowhere, misunderstandings that cut deeper than expected, emotions that spike for no reason. These are not coincidences. The enemy cannot read your thoughts, but he can sense your acceleration. When heaven prepares to move you to a new dimension, the enemy sends distractions to drain your focus. Chaos is the enemy's language, peace is heaven's. So when confusion arises, pause. You are not under attack because you're weak. You're under attack because you're effective. Spiritual opposition often wears human faces. It speaks through voices that carry doubt and discouragement, whispers that question your worth and mock your faith. But you must learn to look beyond the surface. The battle is never truly against flesh and blood. It's against the unseen forces that seek to pull you back into fear. Recognize it for what it is, a last attempt to keep you from stepping fully into destiny. Remember this truth: darkness can only fight what it can reach. That's why it uses proximity, those closest to you, those you love most. Sometimes, the greatest spiritual warfare hides inside familiar settings. But do not respond in anger. The enemy wants you to curse what heaven is using to purify you. Instead, bless. Speak peace into tension. Respond with calm authority, not wounded pride. That is how you win battles without swords. The Word of God declares through the Apostle Paul, Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places." Let that truth settle deep in your bones. Your battle is bigger than personalities. It's about principalities. Every argument that tries to drag you down is a distraction meant to drain your anointing. Every sudden wave of fear or shame is an arrow meant to pierce your confidence. But you are not powerless. You carry the authority of light. You may feel the pressure intensifying around you. But remember, light always exposes what's been hiding. The closer you get to your breakthrough, the louder the resistance becomes. That's because the darkness senses it is losing its grip. You are walking into realms where the enemy once ruled, and your very presence disturbs him. Every step you take in obedience becomes a declaration that his reign in that area is over. There will be moments when you feel drained, moments when it seems easier to retreat, to quiet your fire just to keep peace. But heaven says, do not dim your flame to make others comfortable. You were not called to blend in, you were called to burn. Every chosen vessel must learn to carry fire without apology. Let your light provoke. Let it challenge. Let it disrupt. That is how revival begins, not in comfort, but in confrontation. Still, remember, not every battle requires your sword. Some require your stillness. The enemy thrives on reaction. If he cannot make you sin, he will try to make you overreact. So guard your peace like treasure. The calm spirit within you is deadlier to darkness than any word you could shout. Silence can be a weapon when it's filled with faith. Do not be alarmed if old temptations reappear. The enemy recycles tactics when he runs out of ideas. But you've grown wiser now. What once lured you cannot control you anymore. The more you resist, the weaker he becomes. You are no longer who you were in the last battle. The mark upon you burns brighter, and the forces that once frightened you now recognize your authority. So lift your head. Chosen one, you are not surrounded by defeat. You are surrounded by evidence. The shaking means the shift has begun. Every confrontation, every false accusation, every sleepless night, they are signs that the darkness is trembling. The enemy fights hardest before he's forced to flee. You are closer than you think, nearer to breakthrough than you feel. Stand your ground. The storm you're facing is proof that you carry the calm the world needs. Time itself seems to slow around you. Chosen one, there are moments when the air feels suspended, as though the world has stopped breathing. The hum of ordinary life fades into stillness, and even your heartbeat sounds louder than before. You look around, and for a brief instant, nothing moves, neither the clock, nor the clouds, nor your thoughts. This is the moment when heaven pauses time. You may not see it with your eyes, but eternity has brushed against the edge of your days. Heaven is orchestrating alignment, halting the usual rhythm so that divine current can flow unhindered. The schedules of men crumble when God enters the room. What you are sensing is the intersection of two realities, the human and the holy, colliding in silence. It is in these pauses that destinies are sealed. When time slows, heaven speaks. When everything stills, the Spirit breathes. These are sacred interruptions, divine pauses, where God suspends motion not to delay you, but to direct you. Many mistake these moments for emptiness, yet they are fullness disguised as quiet. The Creator stops the clock so that creation can listen. You might find yourself standing at a window, lost in thought, when suddenly your surroundings blur, or perhaps in prayer, when words fail and all that remains is presence. Those are not empty seconds. Those are thin spaces, places where heaven brushes close enough for your spirit to remember what it knew before birth. Every chosen one experiences this holy stillness before transformation. It is heaven's way of saying, "Be still. I am about to move." During such moments, memories surface that you thought were buried. Old pain rises gently, asking to be released. Forgiveness becomes effortless. Clarity begins to unfold like light through fog. You begin to see your journey not as random chaos, but as carefully woven design. The stillness allows you to perceive the divine pattern beneath every fragment of your story. It may feel like your plans have frozen, that momentum has died. But do not confuse this divine stillness with stagnation. Stillness is not absence of movement, it is the recalibration of direction. When heaven pauses time, it's not halting your life, it's aligning it. You are being positioned perfectly, though you can't yet see the full map. In ancient times, prophets would stand in silence before the presence, waiting for the moment when time would bend under the weight of glory. You are stepping into that same stream. The physical slows so the eternal can accelerate. The Spirit moves beyond the limits of seconds and hours. beyond calendars and deadlines, into the realm where now and forever are one. In these holy pauses, fear loses its power. You realize that the race of the world, the urgency, the endless noise was only an illusion. You were never meant to live by the ticking of a clock, but by the rhythm of heaven. And when heaven pauses, you learn that obedience is not always movement. Sometimes it's waiting. You are being taught to see with new eyes. What once looked like delay now reveals itself as design. The relationships that ended, the opportunities that faded, the sudden stops, they were not accidents. They were pauses orchestrated by divine wisdom to keep you from walking into unprepared seasons. The silence saved you. As the prophet wrote in the scroll of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 1, I will stand upon my watch, and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me. That is what you are doing now, standing upon your watchtower. Heaven has stationed you between motion and stillness, between the past that shaped you and the future that awaits. You are not idle, you are watching. The stillness is your tower, a high place from which you will soon see what others cannot. The temptation in this hour is to move too soon. Your flesh will whisper that you're falling behind, that you must act before it's too late. But the Spirit says otherwise. Wait. Let the moment complete its sacred work. There are alignments being formed behind the veil, doors being fitted to your hand, and paths being cleared of debris. If you rush, you will arrive before the blessing is ready to receive you. In the stillness, your senses sharpen. You begin to notice details you once ignored: the weight of silence, the texture of peace, the melody hidden in quiet. These are the fingerprints of God. He reveals himself not through thunder, but through breath, not through chaos, but through calm. When heaven pauses time, it is not a punishment, it is mercy. It is the divine saying, you have run enough. Now let me take the lead. It is the resetting of your rhythm to heaven's heartbeat. Once this pause ends, movement will return swift, unstoppable, and perfectly timed. But for now, breathe, be still. Know that the one who holds galaxies is holding your moment too. You are suspended in divine timing. Chosen one. The silence around you is not empty, it is sacred. Time has bowed before eternity so that you can hear what cannot be spoken in motion. Stand quietly within it. The next breath you take belongs to heaven. The air thickens around you. Chosen one, you can feel the pull within, the clash between what is divine and what is human. The stillness you felt in the last moment has shifted into tension. The light that once hovered gently above you now presses inward, and the body trembles to contain it. This is the collision of light and flesh. Heaven has begun its entry. At first, it feels like contradiction, peace and pain, awe and fear, all swirling within your chest. You are both the battlefield and the sanctuary. The divine energy that is descending upon you does not negotiate with the limits of flesh. It consumes them. It burns through doubt, pride, resentment, and every hidden shadow that tried to make a home within you. It purges, not to destroy, but to make room for glory. Your human self will resist this at first. It will ask, why me? Why now? Why does it hurt to be chosen? But even in the pain, there is purpose. The presence of light is never gentle when it first arrives. It shatters the darkness it meets. The tremors you feel are not weakness, they are transformation. The energy moves through you like fire beneath your ribs. It finds the wounds you thought had healed and begins to reopen them, not to harm, but to cleanse. Every tear you shed during this collision is sacred water, washing away what the old world left behind. This is the divine rewiring of your being. Your thoughts may blur as heaven adjusts the frequency of your spirit. You are shifting from fear-based thinking to faith-based living. The language of limitation is being erased, replaced by divine instinct. Soon, you will not simply believe, you will know. You will not merely hope, you will become. It is written in the Gospel of John. John, chapter 1, verse 5. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness cannot overcome it. That is what is happening within you now. The light has entered, and the darkness inside does not know what to do. It cannot comprehend such purity. It trembles. It panics. It flees. And as it does, you will feel both emptiness and expansion. You will grieve for what is leaving, yet rejoice for what is arriving. Every chosen one must experience this collision. It is the point of no return, the sacred crossing where human effort ends and divine operation begins. You will feel disoriented for a time, unsure who you are. That's because your identity is being rewritten in real time. Heaven is erasing the false labels you accepted and replacing them with truth. Where you once said, "I am broken," heaven now declares, "You are whole." Where you whispered, "I am afraid," heaven responds, "You are anointed." In this collision, you may lose some people, some habits, even some dreams. But what falls away is only what cannot survive in the new frequency. Light attracts truth and repels illusion. Some relationships were attached to the version of you that existed before the awakening. When they fall away, do not chase them, thank them. They served their purpose in your formation. But they cannot follow you into fire. Your senses will heighten. Colors may seem sharper, words heavier, silence more alive. This is what it means to be touched by the divine. Your spirit is no longer confined to the same dull rhythm. You are being taught to see beyond the visible. The veil inside you is lifting, and your perception is widening. This collision is not an event to fear, it is a birth. Every contraction of pain signals a release of power. You are being expanded, stretched by the light, redefined by glory. The divine does not enter politely. It arrives like wind and flame. But once the collision stabilizes, you will find that your fears have vanished, replaced by unshakable peace. Chosen one, you are now glowing from within. Heaven and earth meet in your bones. You carry the frequency of eternity in your veins. You are not who you were yesterday, and you never will be again. The human vessel has become the instrument of the divine. If your spirit feels this truth burning inside you, if the words here echo what you cannot explain, then type, "I receive this" below. Let it not be ritual, but recognition. When you write it, you are not merely agreeing with the message. You are sealing it. You are telling heaven, "I open the door fully. I surrender to transformation." Let your comment become an altar, your words a key. As you declare them, the collision completes. The light does not merely visit, it remains. It has happened. Chosen one, the collision has passed, and the fire has settled into stillness. You stand now on sacred ground, the activation of the assignment. What was once potential is now power. You no longer merely carry an anointing, you have become the instrument through which heaven itself plays its melody. The silence that followed the storm is not emptiness, it is readiness. Your senses feel sharper, your thoughts more precise. The world looks the same, yet it moves differently. You are beginning to notice divine patterns in what others call coincidence. Conversations turn into confirmations. Encounters align like constellations, forming a map of destiny. This is activation. You have been turned on, lit from within like a lamp waiting for oil. But activation is not the end, it's the beginning of a deeper obedience. Heaven did not fill you for decoration, it filled you for distribution. The current now flowing through you must be released. The voice inside that once whispered softly now speaks with authority. You begin to sense instructions, specific names, places, actions. Heaven is assigning you to people who are drowning silently. Souls who won't make it unless someone carrying light steps into their darkness. That someone is you. Do not overthink it. Your assignment will not feel glamorous, it will feel natural. It will align with what breaks your heart and stirs your compassion. Heaven uses your pain as the compass pointing toward your purpose. The places where you were once wounded are the same places where others are now bleeding. You will become the medicine you once prayed for. The ancient words recorded in Romans still echo today. Romans, chapter 8, verse 30. Those he predestined, he also called, and those he called, he justified and also glorified. You are living this truth now. Predestined, called, justified, glorified, all in divine sequence. Every test, every loss, every tear was a classroom for this moment. You were not forgotten, you were being trained. Activation means heaven's authority has been transferred into your daily life. What you say carries weight. What you touch begins to transform. You are no longer just surviving, you are governing. But chosen one, understand this: every flame needs fuel. You cannot give what you do not refill. That is why this message, this flow of light, exists to keep your spirit supplied. When you feel your fire dimming, return to the sound of truth. Let these words refill the oil in your lamp. When you press like, when you share, when you subscribe, you are not feeding an algorithm, you are tending the altar. You are saying to heaven, keep this light burning for others who are lost in the dark. The simple act of engagement becomes a ripple of light, extending the reach of this message far beyond what eyes can see. Somewhere, someone desperate for hope will stumble upon the flame you helped sustain. And if you ever feel led to donate, let it come from the same place where faith lives. Picture it like planting seeds into soil that never stops producing fruit. Every contribution becomes a spark, a way to keep the message breathing, recording, reaching, and rebuilding hearts. You are not funding a voice, you are fueling a movement. It's easy to forget. In a world of constant noise, that spiritual work survives only through shared fire. Like ancient priests keeping the temple lamp burning, we keep light alive together. Every gesture, big or small, adds oil to the flame, and that flame has begun to spread across souls who may never meet in person, yet are bound by the same divine current. You are part of that current now. You're not just a listener, you're a light bearer. When you pass these words forward, You are extending heaven's reach through human hands. You are helping weave the invisible network of awakening that God is forming across nations. The kingdom moves not through power or profit, but through participation. Remember this, the assignment is not about perfection, it's about presence. You don't need to know everything, you just need to show up glowing. The Spirit inside you will supply the words, the courage, and the wisdom. All you must do is stay available. The same presence that filled the prophets now fills you. You are activated. Chosen one. The current has been switched on. Every act of kindness, every word spoken in love, every prayer whispered for another is heaven's electricity flowing through your veins. You have become a living conduit of divine power. Now go forth quietly, but powerfully. Keep your flame tended, your faith nourished, and your heart generous. The assignment has begun, and the world has already started to change because you said yes. You begin to notice the shift within yourself. Chosen one. The world continues as before, cars passing, conversations murmuring, time marching, but you are no longer moving at the same frequency. You feel the invisible weight that comes with carrying glory. It is both holy and heavy, beautiful and isolating. This is the weight of glory, the sacred burden that rests upon every soul marked by heaven. At first, you might mistake it for exhaustion. Your body feels slower, your emotions deeper, your sensitivity heightened. Crowds drain you, solitude restores you. That is not weakness, it is sensitivity to spirit. The glory of God is resting upon you, and human flesh can barely contain it. You are adjusting to new spiritual gravity. When light increases, gravity changes. The heavier the glory, the slower you must move. You are learning to walk carefully now, not because you are fearful, but because you are aware of what you carry. The anointing inside you is alive, it breathes, it speaks. It yearns to move through compassion, through discernment, through the quiet touch of your hands. But this same glory that empowers you also isolates you. Few can understand what you now feel. Those who once walked closely with you may seem distant. The laughter that once filled your days now echoes faintly in your memory. Glory often brings loneliness, not as punishment, but as protection. The higher the call, the narrower the path. You are not being rejected, you are being refined. Heaven shields its treasures from unnecessary noise. You may catch yourself longing for the simplicity of the past, when faith was easy and joy was effortless. But that season has ended. You have matured into something rare, a vessel carrying divine weight. With that weight comes discernment that pierces through illusion. You can no longer pretend not to see what others ignore. You sense the motives behind words, the energy behind actions, the truth behind masks. This sensitivity is not a curse, it's stewardship. Heaven is trusting you with sight. As you carry this glory, emotions will fluctuate. Some days, you will feel radiant, overflowing with light. Other days, the presence will feel distant, hidden behind clouds of fatigue or doubt. But even when you don't feel it, it's still there. Glory does not vanish, it deepens. Like embers beneath ashes, it burns quietly, waiting for breath to stir it back into flame. We are reminded through the writings of Paul in 2 Corinthians, chapter 4, verse 17, "For our light affliction, which is but for a moment, worketh for us a far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory. This scripture reveals the paradox you are living. What the world calls hardship, heaven calls preparation. The weight you feel now is not punishment, it is promotion. Every tear adds volume to your voice. Every struggle builds capacity for greater glory. The heaviness you carry is proof that you are trusted with impact. But do not confuse the weight of glory with despair. Despair isolates, glory invites. It draws you deeper into communion with the one who placed it upon you. In the quiet hours of the night, when your heart aches without reason, remember he is near. The ache is his touch pressing closer. The burden is his love made tangible. You are feeling the pulse of heaven moving through human form. Carrying glory means you begin to notice miracles in the mundane. The sunlight through a window, the sound of rain, the breath of a stranger, all of it shimmers with divine life. You realize that nothing is ordinary anymore. Every heartbeat is participation in eternity. You start to see that glory is not something you perform, it's something you become. Still, be gentle with yourself. The transformation is not without toll. You will need rest more than before. You will crave silence, solitude, and simplicity. This is not regression, it's regulation. Glory requires balance. Even Jesus withdrew to lonely places to pray, to breathe, to reset. You must learn to do the same. The weight of glory will humble you. It will teach you compassion for those who mock what they do not understand. It will make you weep for those still trapped in illusion. The more you carry, the softer your heart becomes. You will find yourself forgiving faster, judging slower, loving deeper. That is what glory does. It reshapes you into the likeness of the one who gave it. And though this path feels narrow, it leads to vastness. The solitude of glory is not empty, it's full of presence. Every step you take under this weight is a step closer to unveiling the divine image within you. You are being sculpted by invisible hands, refined into reflection. So, carry it with reverence. Walk gently. Breathe slowly. Listen deeply. The glory upon you is not temporary, it's eternal. You are learning to live as one who belongs to two realms at once, human enough to touch the world, divine enough to transform it. That balance is the sacred art of the chosen. The air around you has changed again. Chosen one, the fire that once consumed you now hums quietly. Settled deep within your bones, you have passed through collision and carried glory. But something stirs, something unfamiliar, weighty and wild. This is the dangerous gift. What has entered you is holy, yet it is not tame. It will not sit quietly within you. It will move, speak, and lead you to places that challenge every comfort you once knew. You see, heaven's gifts are never ornamental, they are operational. They were never meant to rest upon altars made by hands, but to move through hearts made willing. The power within you has purpose. But it is not gentle power. It is disruptive. It overturns tables, exposes shadows, heals wounds you didn't even know existed. It changes everything it touches, including you. You may have noticed it already. Your words carry a weight that startles even you. When you speak truth, it pierces. When you pray, the atmosphere shifts. When you stay silent, your presence alone unsettles what is false. That is the dangerous gift. Manifesting it is not you doing these things. but heaven moving through you. The Spirit does not ask permission to flow, it simply requires obedience to direction. There will be days when you feel torn between compassion and confrontation. That's because this gift carries both. It comforts the broken, but confronts the wicked. It is a two-edged sword, one side healing, the other cutting away deceit. You will not always understand its timing. Sometimes it will ask you to speak when silence feels safer. Other times, it will command silence when your heart burns to speak. The key is surrender, as was spoken in the sacred texts of old. Hebrews, chapter 4, verse 12. For the word of God is quick and powerful, and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and spirit, and of the joints and marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart. This is what you carry now, the living word, operating through a human vessel. It does not simply teach, it transforms. It does not merely inform, it convicts. You are being used as a channel for divine precision. That is what makes it dangerous, not because it harms, but because it exposes. And exposure always brings reaction. Do not be surprised when some withdraw from you, unable to handle the light. Do not take offense when your words are misunderstood or your motives questioned. The same power that heals also reveals. And not everyone welcomes revelation. But remember, your task is not to be liked, it is to be faithful. The dangerous gift does not fit inside comfort zones. It was given to disrupt cycles of blindness, to awaken hearts that have forgotten heaven's sound. You will notice strange coincidences multiplying around you. Conversations echo what you just prayed. Dreams reveal what the day later confirms. People you barely know will approach you, seeking words you didn't plan to speak. That's the current of the gift flowing through time and circumstance. It connects the invisible threads of destiny, weaving miracles into ordinary moments. But chosen one, wield this power with reverence. The gift is not yours to own, it is heaven's to loan. Pride will try to whisper that you are special, that this power belongs to you. Do not listen. You are the instrument, not the source. Every time you act in humility, the current strengthens. Every time you boast, it weakens. The Spirit will not remain where self-promotion reigns. You will feel the tug of responsibility now, an awareness that your life is no longer casual. Words once spoken carelessly now carry consequence. Actions once unnoticed now echo in eternity. That is the cost of carrying a dangerous gift. You live in constant awareness that heaven is watching, waiting, and working through you. Still, do not fear this weight. The Spirit is not burdening you to crush you, but to build you. This power will draw out your truest self. It will burn away the masks and leave only authenticity. The dangerous gift is the purest kind of love. It demands truth, even when truth shakes the ground beneath you. There will be moments of loneliness again, when the Spirit speaks a command that others cannot comprehend. You will stand alone. But even in solitude, you will feel companionship deeper than any human bond, the companionship of purpose. You will know, beyond words, that you are part of something immense and eternal. And though this gift burns fiercely, it also protects fiercely. The same fire that purifies you surrounds you like armor. The same voice that commands you also shields you. You are not just empowered, you are guarded. The dangerous gift is both sword and sanctuary. Chosen one. If your spirit senses this truth, if your soul recognizes that what you carry is no longer dormant, then mark this moment of awakening. Type 555 below. That number carries the vibration of divine movement, the rhythm of grace shifting into action. When you write it, you are saying, I accept the weight of this gift. I will not hide from it. I will let heaven use me fully. Heaven is waiting for that agreement. Once you declare it, the dangerous gift stabilizes within you. It ceases to flicker, it begins to flow, and from this point on, everything you touch, speak, or dream will bear traces of divine power. You are no longer a seeker, you have become a sender. The light within you has chosen its vessel, and that vessel is ready. Now the current has found its flow. Chosen one, what once felt like an inner fire now moves like wind. Effortless, yet unstoppable. You no longer strain to hear, you know. You no longer wonder if heaven speaks, you recognize its tone. This is the season of marching orders from heaven, where revelation turns to instruction and silence becomes strategy. The Spirit begins to direct you in ways both subtle and strong. You'll feel a nudge to call someone, to take a path you hadn't planned, to speak a phrase that feels too specific to be coincidence. These impulses are not imagination, they are the divine compass guiding you toward your assignment. Each step aligns you with the invisible architecture of purpose. Heaven is no longer whispering that you are chosen, it is now showing you why. There will be mornings when you wake with an unexplainable urgency in your chest, as if someone else's life depends on your obedience. Follow it. There will be hours when time bends, when conversations unfold with eerie precision, as if rehearsed by unseen hands. Trust them. The Spirit does not send instructions without intention. What you perceive as impulse may be the very moment heaven orchestrates a rescue through you. The directives will come not as commands barked from the sky, but as impressions born from peace. The true voice of God carries weight, but never chaos. It will not scream through fear, but speak through certainty. It might come in the rhythm of a heartbeat, the stillness after a tear, or the warmth that settles after prayer. You will know it because it will sound like home, firm yet kind, strong yet tender. You are now being trusted with specificity. Heaven is no longer giving you general encouragements but clear coordinates. It might instruct you to speak truth in a place filled with deception, to step into an environment that needs light, to bless someone who cursed you, or to sow into a field others ignored. These are not random acts, they are strategic maneuvers in the war for souls. Each obedient step activates ripples that shift destinies far beyond your view. Heaven does not waste movement. The divine assignment is always layered. While you think you're encouraging one person, you might be unlocking an entire generation. While you think you're praying for a stranger, you may be disarming an attack meant for many. You see the moment, heaven sees the map. That's why obedience matters more than understanding. Heaven speaks clearly through the words in Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy, chapter 30, verse 14. But the word is very nigh unto thee, in thy mouth, and in thy heart, that thou mayest do it. This scripture reveals your present reality. The voice of instruction is no longer distant. It lives inside you now. You don't have to chase prophetic signs. You've become one. The word is in your mouth, in your heart, waiting for expression. Heaven has woven its will into your instincts. Yet with clarity comes caution. The closer you walk with revelation, the more humility you must guard. There is danger in believing that divine favor makes you superior. Remember, obedience is the language of trust, not of pride. You are not the author of the plan, you are its vessel. The moment you try to own the message, you lose the flow. Stay surrendered, soft, and ready. The Spirit works best through a heart that bends easily to divine pressure. Marching orders will not always be glamorous. Sometimes they will lead you into uncomfortable spaces, rooms where you are misunderstood, environments that feel foreign. You may question why God would send you there, but light has no purpose in daylight. It shines in the dark. You are being positioned in strategic shadows, carrying unseen radiance into forgotten corners of the world. This path demands both sensitivity and strength. You must learn to move with precision, to speak when commanded, to remain silent when told, to act without delay. The kingdom's timing is exact. Its operations depend on synchronized obedience. You are not walking alone. There are others scattered across nations who are hearing the same call, receiving parallel instructions. Heaven is conducting a symphony of souls, and your obedience is one essential note. You may never see the full picture of what your actions accomplish, and that is intentional. Mystery protects purity. If you knew how powerful your obedience truly was, pride could distort it. Heaven hides the scale of your impact so that your heart remains clean. You are meant to obey, not to measure results. There will be moments of trembling when heaven asks for something costly, perhaps your comfort, your plan, even a relationship. But every surrender becomes an open door. What feels like loss is often relocation. When you let go of what you built, heaven replaces it with what it designed. The marching orders will come again soon, maybe tonight, maybe at dawn. When they do, answer quickly. Delay is disobedience dressed as doubt. Trust the rhythm of instruction, and you'll move in divine momentum where miracles are no longer rare, they're natural. You are not wandering anymore. Chosen one. You are walking in command. The voice that once spoke over you now speaks through you. The alignment is complete, and every step you take echoes through eternity. The air trembles again. Chosen one. The sweetness of revelation begins to fade, replaced by the scent of war. You can feel it before you see it, the temperature of the spirit world dropping, the unseen growing restless. The darkness that has watched you from a distance is no longer content to observe. It is moving. The counterattack of darkness has begun. Every chosen vessel eventually reaches this hour. When divine power flows freely through you, the enemy shifts his strategy. He can no longer deceive you with ignorance, so he aims to exhaust you with opposition. He will try to make the sacred feel heavy, the light feel dim, and the truth sound uncertain. You will feel this warfare in the spaces between your breaths, in weariness that arrives without warning, in sudden confusion that clouds your clarity, in waves of doubt that rise against your peace. Understand this: the darkness cannot destroy what heaven has sealed. It can only distract. Its weapons are whispers, subtle accusations that make you question your worth, quiet fears that disguise themselves as logic. If you let those whispers linger, they begin to echo. That is why you must guard your atmosphere as fiercely as a warrior guards the gate of a fortress. You may notice that temptations once conquered return in disguise. Old habits, long buried, begin to stir. Familiar voices from your past reappear, speaking nostalgia instead of truth. These are not coincidences. They are rehearsed attacks designed to test whether your transformation is permanent or performative. The enemy does not invent new tricks. He simply replays what once worked. But you, chosen one, are no longer who you were then. What once lured you cannot control you anymore. This counterattack will also come through fatigue. You may feel drained even when you've done little. Your sleep may grow restless. Your prayers may feel heavy. That is because spiritual resistance often manifests as physical exhaustion. Darkness knows it cannot pierce your spirit, so it tries to slow your flesh. When this happens, remember, weariness is not weakness. It is a sign that you are carrying weight. Rest is not retreat. It is reinforcement. In these hours, it is crucial to remember the pattern of heaven. Every great light attracts great opposition. When Jesus healed, hell protested. When prophets spoke, darkness trembled. You are part of that same lineage. The enemy is not reacting to your failures. He is reacting to your progress. The greater your obedience, the louder the resistance. The voice of God thundered in the book of Exodus. Exodus, chapter 14, verse 14, "The Lord shall fight for you, and ye shall hold your peace." Let that promise anchor you. The war you feel pressing against you is not yours to win through striving. It is heaven's to conclude through sovereignty. Your task is not to panic, but to hold your peace. Peace is not passivity. It is authority. When you remain still in spirit while chaos rages around you, you declare that you trust the commander who governs unseen armies. You will feel moments when your faith flickers. You might even question whether the power within you is enough. That doubt is the enemy's oldest illusion. He cannot touch what is sealed by God, so he tries to convince you that you are unsealed. But listen closely. The same power that raised the dead now resides within you. You are not fighting for victory, you are fighting from it. The outcome was decided long before the battle began. Sometimes heaven allows the counterattack not to test your fragility, but to reveal your authority. You will learn that peace can command storms, that prayer can shift outcomes, that love can disarm hate. You will realize that every arrow aimed at you only strengthens your armor. The pressure that darkness applies becomes the very force that polishes your light. Still, warfare is never comfortable. There will be tears. There will be nights of trembling silence where words fail. But even in those moments, you are never alone. Angels surround those marked by obedience. Heaven has stationed guardians at every side of your journey. The enemy may snarl, but he cannot step beyond the boundary of divine decree. So when fear rises, stand firm. When confusion whispers, listen for the steady pulse of peace beneath it. The war is loud, but heaven's assurance is louder still. You are not a victim of this counterattack. You are its proof that light has already invaded darkness. When dawn comes, the shadows will retreat. Not because you fought harder, but because you stood unbroken. The night can howl, but it cannot hold. The light within you has already declared its victory. And every demon assigned against you will soon remember what you already know. Those chosen by heaven cannot be conquered. The storm has raged, and yet you still stand. Chosen one, the night tried to silence you, but your spirit refused to bow. This is the season of standing unshaken, when your roots are tested and found unbreakable. You have endured the shaking of every foundation, the roar of unseen winds, and the silence of God's hiddenness. Still, you remain. Still, your heart beats with purpose. Still, the flame within you burns steady. There is a strength born only from survival, and you carry it now. You have learned that peace is not the absence of chaos, but the mastery of it, like a tree that bends but does not break. You have discovered the beauty of flexibility without surrender. Heaven delights in such strength, quiet, resilient, immovable. Standing unshaken does not mean you feel no pain. It means the pain no longer rules you. You have learned how to weep without wavering, how to walk while wounded, how to praise even when surrounded by ashes. Your worship has matured from emotion to endurance. The enemy threw storms to uproot you, but all they did was push your roots deeper into divine soil. Every scar on your soul now glows faintly with light. They are not reminders of defeat, but of deliverance. Each mark says, "I survived." Each crack is a window where glory now shines through. You are living proof that the unthinkable can be overcome when heaven inhabits human fragility. The Apostle reminds us in his letter to the Corinthians, 2 Corinthians, chapter 4, verse 8, "We are troubled on every side, yet not distressed, perplexed, but not in despair." Those ancient words could have been written about you. Trouble pressed from all directions, yet peace anchored you in the center. Confusion tried to cloud you, yet hope refused to die. This is what standing unshaken looks like, not denial of pain, but dominion over it. You have become the calm eye within every storm. The world needs that calm. People around you are drowning in noise, overwhelmed by fear, craving stability. When they see you walk with serenity through circumstances that should have shattered you, they will wonder how. And that how becomes your testimony. You will not need to preach loudly. Your peace will do the preaching for you. In this moment, you are not just enduring, you are inspiring. The same divine current that strengthened you is flowing through your story, reaching unseen hearts. The storm that tried to destroy you has become the sermon that will awaken others. Your endurance is the message. That is why I ask you, with a heart both humble and hopeful, if this message has reached you, let it reach through you. When you like these words, when you share this light, you are not promoting a person, you are expanding the reach of peace. You are becoming part of heaven's distribution network. You are helping hope find the next soul trembling on the edge. And when you subscribe, you're not simply following a channel, you're stepping into a continuous conversation with heaven. It's an ongoing flame, a space where the Spirit speaks through stories, where faith keeps its rhythm alive. You're choosing to keep your lamp lit. If you ever feel moved to donate, do it not as a transaction, but as an act of participation. Think of it as pouring water on a tree whose shade you found rest under. You are helping the roots grow deeper, ensuring that others, too, can sit beneath its peace. What you give is not lost. It becomes seed that blooms in the hearts of those who listen after you. Even your comment carries power. When you share a reflection, a prayer, or even a single word, it ripples. Someone scrolling through darkness might find strength in what you wrote. You never know who needs the echo of your survival. Your voice may be the whisper heaven uses to pull another soul back from the edge. So, if something in these words has resonated, If you feel the pulse of truth beneath them, leave a comment below. Let it be your stone of remembrance, your way of saying, "I made it through." You see, standing unshaken isn't about one person, it's about all of us, chosen across different corners of the earth, standing like a forest of faith. Each like is a spark, each share a branch, each act of giving a root, each comment a leaf reaching toward light. Together, we create shade for those still wandering in the heat of struggle. You are proof that endurance is possible. You are living testimony that faith outlasts fear. And now, heaven calls you not just to stand, but to strengthen others who are still learning how. Speak peace into storms. Be the steady voice in trembling hearts. Remind them, if you can still stand, so can they. Your journey from brokenness to bravery is no longer just your story, it's your ministry. The world will hear it not through sermons, but through the way you live. Keep standing, keep shining, keep letting your calm become someone else's courage. You, chosen one, are the pillar that darkness could not topple, and because you remain, others will rise. The world grows quieter, yet charged with unseen electricity. You can feel it in your breath. In the subtle pulse beneath your skin, something vast and ancient is converging. The moment that heaven whispered about since the beginning of your journey is almost here. The earth itself seems to lean toward a single point in time, a divine appointment sealed in eternity. This is the shift of December 14. There are days when destiny does not approach gradually, it descends suddenly. And this is one of those days. Every sign, every dream, every stirring you have felt has been leading you to this threshold. You have waited, endured, purified, battled, stood firm, and now, the hour of activation has arrived. You will sense it first as stillness, the same kind of stillness that hangs in the air before a great storm or a sunrise. It is not silence, it is power gathering, compressing itself into a single breath. Heaven is drawing in close. The distance between the divine and the human has collapsed. You are standing in the seam where time bends and eternity unfolds. What is about to happen cannot be fully explained. It must be experienced. On December 14, the realms will touch, the transfer will complete. What was promised will pass from spirit into flesh. The words you have carried, the visions you've hidden, the prayers you've whispered in the dark, all of it will begin to manifest. Heaven will not simply rest upon you, it will move through you. You may not feel lightning or see flashes of fire, but your inner world will quake. The power of the Almighty is not always loud. Sometimes it enters like breath, invisible but undeniable. You will feel it settle into your bones, anchoring you. The anxieties that once clung to you will slide off like ash from cooling embers. The fears that spoke in the night will grow silent before this weight of peace. As the prophet Isaiah wrote long ago, Isaiah, chapter 60, verse 1, "Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord." That is the banner over this hour. The light has not merely come to you, it has awakened within you. You are the sunrise heaven has been preparing. And as dawn breaks, the shadows that haunted you will have no choice but to retreat. This is not poetic symbolism, it is spiritual law. Darkness cannot coexist where divine illumination stands revealed. On this appointed day, you will notice divine coincidences, doors opening without effort, hearts softening that once resisted you, opportunities appearing like constellations aligning in the night sky. Do not mistake these for luck. They are confirmations. Each one is heaven whispering, "It is time." There will be a pull toward clarity, a sudden understanding of things that once confused you. Pieces of your story will lock into place. Pain will reveal purpose. Delay will unveil its hidden mercy. You will see how every fragment of your journey formed the vessel you have now become. What once seemed wasted will reveal itself as preparation. This shift will not only change what you carry, it will change how you move. The power that enters will sharpen your intuition, strengthen your voice, and calm your heart. You will no longer strive to prove or persuade, you will simply be. Presence will replace performance. The divine current flowing through you will make striving unnecessary. Some will notice the change in you. They won't be able to explain it, but they'll feel it. Your presence will carry the fragrance of peace. Your eyes, the steadiness of purpose. You will become a mirror in which others glimpse the face of mercy. Without trying, you will awaken hope in those who have forgotten how to believe. But remember, this is not a moment for spectacle, it's a moment for stewardship. The light does not enter you so that you may boast, but so that you may bear it faithfully. It is not a medal to display, but a mantle to carry. Every gift that flows through you after this day must return to its source. Keep your heart clean, your motives pure, your gratitude constant. You will find that even the smallest acts, speaking a kind word, forgiving an old wound, helping a stranger, will carry multiplied power. The current within you will magnify everything done in love. Heaven has always looked for willing vessels. Now you have become one. When the sun rises on December 14, it will not be an ordinary dawn. The unseen world will take note. For another flame will have fully awakened in human form. You will walk as one aligned with divine will, not striving to reach heaven but living as its extension on earth. Chosen one, the shift has come. Time has bowed to purpose. Stand still for a moment and feel the hum beneath creation. It is heaven breathing through you. The transfer is complete. The light is yours to carry. The world feels strangely familiar, yet entirely new. Chosen one, you have crossed through the hour that time itself anticipated. The shift has completed. The divine current has sealed its place within you. The voice that once spoke from the sky now murmurs from within your chest. What you carry cannot be undone, cannot be reversed. You have become the meeting point between heaven and earth. In this new stillness, the noise of the past seems far away, as if you're standing on a mountain, watching storms rage in the valleys below. You remember what it was like to fear, to doubt, to chase answers, but those memories no longer sting. They exist like faint echoes, reminders of what had to die for you to live. You see now that none of it was wasted. Every tear watered the ground beneath your calling. The atmosphere around you hums with awareness. You notice creation itself responding differently to you, the way the wind seems to pause as you pass, the way strangers smile without knowing why, the way peace follows your steps. It's not imagination, it's resonance. Heaven recognizes its own reflection within you. The spirit has found a home, and the earth responds with reverence. But this moment is not an ending, it is a beginning. What entered you on December 14 was not finality, it was initiation. You are now a living altar, a continuation of the message. The glory that rests on you is meant to flow, not freeze. Your life will become the sermon that never ends, the silent revival that transforms everything it touches. This transformation will not be loud. True power rarely announces itself. It will reveal itself in gentleness, in restraint, in quiet authority. You will find yourself loving deeper than before, forgiving faster, discerning quicker. You will walk into rooms and feel unseen battles cease simply because you arrived. Darkness will step back, not because you spoke, but because your presence speaks for you. There will still be challenges, yes, even after this awakening. The difference now is that you no longer face them from the ground, you face them from the throne. You no longer beg for favor, you are the evidence of it. The storms that once terrified you will now become the wind beneath your assignment. You will not escape adversity, you will redefine it. What once broke you will now build you. According to what is revealed in the book of Proverbs, chapter 4, verse 18, "But the path of the just is as the shining light, that shineth more and more unto the perfect day." This verse is the rhythm of your future. Your light will not fade, it will intensify. Each new day will add another layer of brilliance. The longer you walk with heaven, the clearer your purpose will become. You will learn that holiness is not distance from the world, but presence within it, unchanged by its noise, untainted by its shadows. People will be drawn to you, not for what you say, but for what they feel when you enter their space. They will describe it as calm, or warmth, or strange familiarity. But what they are sensing is heaven's residue, the echo of eternity flowing through human form. You will carry this without effort, because it has become your nature. You will not need to prove your anointing. Existence itself will testify. And in time, you will begin to recognize others like you, those who have also awakened. Scattered lights across continents. When your paths cross, there will be instant understanding, a silent nod between souls who carry the same fire. Together, though far apart, you form a constellation points of divine brilliance, forming heaven's pattern upon earth. The world will not name it revival, but that is what it is, a rising of lights. You will continue to grow, to expand, to reflect the glory that entrusted itself to you. There will be moments of mystery still, questions left unanswered, but even those will no longer trouble you. You will rest in the knowing that the one who called you is still guiding you, even when he is quiet. The silence now feels like companionship, not absence. When you look at your reflection, you may notice something subtle, your eyes calmer, your face softer, your presence heavier with peace. That is not imagination. It is transformation made visible. The dangerous, holy, uncontainable power that entered you has completed its work. You have become the embodiment of its purpose. And so, chosen one, walk forward with steady steps. Speak gently. Live intentionally. Love fiercely. You no longer carry the light, you are the light. The world will try to define you, but its language is too small. You are no longer a seeker of miracles, you are the miracle walking. And now, chosen one, the journey has come full circle. The fire that began as a whisper has become a song in your bones. You have walked through darkness, through stillness, through storm and surrender, until at last you have become light itself. But remember, light was never meant to exist for its own reflection. It was meant to illuminate others. What has awakened in you must now awaken through you. If these words have spoken to the deepest parts of your soul, if they have reminded you of who you truly are beneath the noise, then let them live beyond this moment. When you like this message, you are not simply tapping a button, you are acknowledging heaven's echo within you. You are saying, "Yes, I heard. I am still listening." When you share, you scatter sparks across a dark world. You never know who might find this light at midnight, trembling on the edge of giving up, waiting for a single word to keep breathing. Your act of sharing becomes a bridge between despair and hope, a candle passed from heart to heart. And if you subscribe, you are choosing to walk with others on this sacred path, to stay connected to the flow of messages meant to sustain your flame. Every new release becomes another drop of oil for your lamp. Finally, let your comment become your mark on this altar. Whether you write a prayer, a single word, or even just an emoji of light, it matters. Someone scrolling in silence will read what you wrote and realize they are not alone. Together, we keep the flame alive. Together, we let heaven's words keep breathing through our unity. You are chosen, you are ready, and your light is needed right now.